Hey guys, so I am super excited to film this video. These are the videos that I have been looking forward to film literally since I started my YouTube channel and basically all year. These are going to be my yearly favorites videos. I'm not too sure what I'm wanting to call these, maybe just best in beauty of 2013 or favorite beauty products of 2013, something like that. I basically am going to go through every single little category of makeup and break it down and show you guys what I have loved throughout the year and what I would call the best of the best out of all the stuff that I've tried and used throughout the year. I went through and I watched a lot of my older favorites videos just so I could really get an idea of what I use month by month, because it is kind of hard to remember, you know, like what products I was using back in February. And if there was something that I was using, you know, back in February or March that I'm still using now, it's like, okay, I know that that is a favorite. I know that that is a product I have to put in this video because obviously I like that product a lot. The way I'm doing this is, like I said, just every single little category of makeup that I can think of. I'm going to separate these videos by face, eyes, lips, and then I'll probably do a hair, skincare, other type of beauty video, kind of like miscellaneous beauty, all in another video. And then I'm going to show my favorite high-end and drugstore products for each category. There are quite a lot of categories in this video just because I really wanted to break it down and get to the very root of, in this particular case, face makeup. So let's just get on into it and I will show you guys my favorite face products of 2013. Now note that all these products do not have a high-end or drugstore equivalent. Some of these products that sort of win for the category are just drugstore, and some of these just have a high-end favorite. And that's just because I wanted to show you guys my absolute favorite and not feel like I have to pick a drugstore and a high-end if for some reason, you know, maybe I like that drugstore product more than I like the high-end, which is true in this case. My favorite drugstore primer of 2013 has been the Rimmel London Fix and Perfect Pro Primer. I really loved my Bare Minerals Prime Time throughout the year, but there's something about this that I love more, and I think it's the fact that it doesn't have a very silicone-y texture. It feels almost like a moisturizer when it's on your skin. It's very lightweight, it feels kind of moisturizing, it fills in the lines, it fills in your pores. I also love how this prolongs the wear of my foundation, and compared to the original Fix and Perfect, I find that it's just such a step up, especially because it has that kind of clear consistency to it. So I really like this primer and would definitely recommend this one to you guys, and it has been my favorite of the year. I do kind of have a high-end favorite primer, although it's a little bit different of a product than this face primer. This is actually an under-eye primer, and this is kind of one of those things where there's not really a whole lot of products within this category. This product just kind of stands by itself, and this is the Smashbox Photo Finish Hydrating Under Eye Primer, and this stuff is amazing. Oh my gosh. Every single time I use this, or maybe if I go a week without using it and then come back to it, I realize just how much of a necessity this has become in my makeup collection, because it just fills in all of those lines around your eyes. It really hydrates the area so that no matter what type of concealer you put under there, it's not going to look cakey, it's not going to look dry, it's going to look really perfected and just smooth underneath that area. It's kind of a weird category to have a favorite in just because not a lot of products fall under an under eye primer category, but I definitely feel like this is worth the money and very much so worth checking into. Time to move on to some foundations. I'm going to start with the tinted moisturizer slash BB cream category, since I feel like in essence they are the same thing. I know some of you may think differently, especially if you use like Korean brand BB creams, just because those are quite different. But here in the States, BB cream and a tinted moisturizer is essentially the same thing. So I'm going to start with my drugstore favorite, and that is the Garnier BB cream. This is the Skin Renew Miracle Skin Perfector for combination to oily skin. I specifically like this combination to oily skin formulation. I do not like the normal to dry skin formulation, even though I tend to have more drier skin. I find that this formulation is so thin and lightweight. It's so like watery, and as you can tell, it kind of creates a little bit of a mess, but it's worth it because the look that it gives your skin is just, it's just amazing. It has the most natural skin-like finish to it, and while it's hydrating, it's not super dewy, and I am one of those people that tend to prefer more of like a matte finish or more of just a natural skin-like finish. I don't like a super luminous or a super dewy finish. I like just a very natural, not flat, but still kind of a more matte appearance to the skin, and I find that this gives that while still remaining me very hydrating, and the color light to medium is perfect for me in the summer. This was my go-to summer product of 2013, and I love it. For my high-end favorite, the Dr. Jart BB cream, this is the water fuse one. I love, love, love this stuff. It is such an easy product to use. I can just put a little bit on my fingers and then run it over my skin, and my skin doesn't look, you know, completely flawless. You can still see if I am breaking out terribly, some of that redness, but it just kind of makes everything look a little bit better. It's just more of like a skin evening type of a product. It just looks really nice, and it's got the greatest texture to it. I love the way it feels on the skin, and it's easy just to put this on. Any other spots that I need a little bit more concealing, I can go through with the concealer and, you know, just dust some powder on, and I got a really, really natural, perfected looking base. So I really, really like this product and would highly recommend it to you guys. Now let's move on to my actual full coverage foundation winner of the year. This is the Sephora 10-Hour Wear Perfection Foundation. I love this stuff. Love, 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 love this stuff. So much that I can't give really a drugstore or a high-end favorite in this category. This is it. And this is sort of middle of the road. The Sephora brand isn't super expensive. You know, it's not your NARS or Makeup Forever prices, but it's not, you know, your Neutrogena or CoverGirl prices. I believe that this foundation was around the $20 mark, and it is completely worth it. I love this so much. I even purchased a backup, and that's what this is. You could tell it's still in its packaging, but this does have a pump, and I love the way it looks. It says it gives medium coverage and it's buildable, and I totally agree with that. Upon first application, it is a nice medium coverage. If you go in with a second layer, it definitely becomes way more full coverage. It is also oil-free, and I find that it doesn't break me out. So I am absolutely in love with this. By the way, my shade is Light 12. Can get a look at that, and it matches my skin perfectly. It's got a beautiful, nice yellow undertone. It's light without being too light, and I just love it. They do have an awesome shade selection in this. I find that the 10-hour claim is totally true, and I really like this and would definitely recommend it to you guys. Let's move on to a powder foundation for this. I just have a high-end favorite. This is the Bare Minerals Matte Foundation. Love this stuff. This is one of my go-to, kind of just natural everyday. If my skin is a little bit greasy, or maybe my skin is just having a really bad skin day, there's times where I'm breaking out, my skin is really oily, and I like to go to this. Because it's not going to add extra oils and extra silicones and all that unnecessary junk to your face. It's just going to really perfect your face, control the oil, and make your skin look really nice. I love using this just with any type of like a flat top kabuki brush. This is the e.l.f. powder brush. It's probably my favorite brush to use this with. Just kind of your typical tap some in the cap, buff it on the brush, buff it on your skin, and your skin looks so nice and just so nicely perfected, and the redness is just taken down and the oil is controlled, and the finish on it is really nice. So I would definitely recommend checking into the Bare Minerals foundations if you haven't, which I'm sure many of you already have since they're so famous within the beauty world, but I definitely feel like the hype is worth it and the price is worth it, and it's just awesome. And my shade in this is fairly light. And moving on to just some actual powders, my favorite for the drugstore category this year was the Revlon Nearly Naked powder. I used the crap out of this, and you can't really tell because I don't wear a whole lot of powder. I like to go very, very light with the powder, so it takes me forever to hit pan on powder. It really takes me forever to hit pan on anything, just because I use such light applications when I'm doing my makeup for some reason, but I love this powder. I have this in the shade Fair. It's just a beautiful, super, super creamy. I mean, it almost feels like a cream when you're rubbing your finger across it, and it just is so, so natural looking. It buffs into the skin beautifully, and it creates a nice natural matte finish, which I really like. So for best drugstore powder of the year, it's definitely the Revlon Nearly Naked. And then for my favorite high-end powder, this is the Carez Wild Rose Brightening Powder in the shade 03 Beige. And this stuff again has a very similar texture. It's super creamy, and it just is absolutely beautiful. It goes on the skin and creates such a nice appearance. It kind of just blurs imperfections almost, and I find that it has a slight sheen to it, so it looks super natural. There's no way you can look cakey or powdery with this powder, just because it does have that kind of brightening effect. And I find that over any type of a really matte foundation or even a dewy foundation, this just adds that touch touch of luminosity without any shimmer or sparkle or anything. There is absolutely no type of shimmer in this. The powder itself just has a very natural sheen. And it also has a lot of really good ingredients for your skin in this, so I definitely recommend checking into this. It is an awesome high-end powder. Let's move on to some concealers. My favorite concealer for the year from the drugstore has been the Rimmel Match Perfection 2-in-1 concealer and highlighter. This provides amazing coverage. It really is brightening and natural looking, and like I said, the coverage on this is just really nice, especially for being that highlighter concealer type of product. It just looks really, really good. So I would highly recommend checking this out. This is, I think, around the $5 or $6 mark. It's definitely worth it. I'm in the shade 230 Fair/Light. And then for my high-end category, I have to give it to the Kat Von D Tattoo or Lock-It Tattoo Concealer. This stuff is so awesome underneath your eyes, guys. It seriously just conceals so well and looks so natural. And I find that over blemishes, it's not drying, it doesn't look cakey, it doesn't accentuate the dryness. If you have some type of a, you know, pimple or zit going on, it doesn't make it look gross and flaky and icky. It really goes over it, conceals it well, and provides a little bit of moisture, I find, so that the area just looks a lot more smooth. So I would definitely recommend checking into this. It also wears like a pro, so really, really big fan of this, and think it's worth the money. So we have pretty much covered your concealing base type of makeup. Let's move on to your blushes and stuff to add color to your face. We'll start with cream blushes. I don't have a high-end favorite for this. I just have a drugstore this year, and this is the Maybelline Dream Bouncy blushes. These are one of those products I find that people either love or they hate, but I, for one, love them. I find that they have very, very buildable pigmentation. This one here in Rose Petal is my favorite. I have used a lot of this. It's a beautiful neutral, kind of slightly peachy pinky color. It's just super, super natural on the skin. Just gives that barely there flush. But if you're just going for like an everyday, very natural makeup, this is a product that I would definitely use. It's just gorgeous. And then for a little bit more of a punch, this color here is Plum Wine. This is probably my second favorite. I love this for the fall and winter. This definitely has a lot more color payoff to it, as you can see, and it's just that beautiful, just came from, you know, an outside wintry cold day kind of look. So for cream blushes, I would definitely recommend these. They also go over any type of powder products very well, and they don't look cakey, so that's another reason why I really, really like these. And then moving on to powder blushes, my favorite from the drugstore has been just this specific one, actually. This is the Rimmel Lasting Finish Blush in Santa Rose. I love all of the Rimmel Lasting Finish blushes, but this one has just been such a standout, and I seriously have no idea how I haven't hit pan on this yet. I feel like I have to be getting close at some point because I use this all the time. Almost every single time I went traveling this year, I brought this with me. The packaging is kind of flimsy, it's kind of stupid, and it sucks, but it's only $4, and the product inside is beautiful. It's really smooth, it's really creamy. When you swatch it, it doesn't really look like a whole lot of anything. It actually really looks like that first Maybelline Dream Bouncy blush that I showed you guys, but when you put it on your cheeks, it just gives the most gorgeous, soft pink glow. And like I said, swatches don't do it justice. You really have to buff it onto the skin to see what I'm talking about. But I've used this in plenty of tutorials, lots of favorites videos this has been mentioned in, and I love this blush, and I think I will always love this blush. And then something that snuck its way into my favorites towards the end of the month, I found these products in November, but they definitely have to be mentioned as my favorites for the year, because even though I haven't used them all year, compared to anything else that I've used all year, these just blow those products out of the water. And these are the Balm In Stain blushes. Incredible, incredible products. My favorite so far has probably been this one in Argyle, which I mentioned in my last favorites video. This is a beautiful yellow toned pink. It just looks absolutely stunning, and I just dug a corner out of it. That's not good. There is a swatch of that product. I'll put it on the back of my hand so you can maybe see a little bit better. There is a swatch of that blush there. It's just an absolutely stunning pink color. I love it. And then the other ones that I have here are Houndstooth, which is this really pretty kind of plummy wine color. And I just put that one right there. Kind of looks similar to the Maybelline one, except it has a little bit more of like a peachy tone to it. And then this one here in Toile, and this is a gorgeous, really, really vibrant corally type of a color. That one's right there next to the Argyle color. So these are just absolutely amazing blushes. They're pigmented, they're super long wearing, they're very creamy, creamy, they're easy to blend, and they look natural on the skin. They don't have a whole lot of shimmer to them. In fact, I mean, they're pretty much just matte blushes, but they just look so good on the skin, and you will have this on your cheeks, you know, all day. You can put this on at 8 o'clock in the morning and check back in at like 10 o'clock at night, and you will still have that beautiful flush to your cheeks. They definitely stain your cheeks. They are just gorgeous, and they're so much easier to use than like a liquid stain. Everything you want in a blush, that's what these are. These are, in my mind, perfect, and if you haven't checked into these yet, you really need to. Alright, let's move on to my favorite bronzers. For cream bronzer, and this is in a category that I have lots of experience with. This is actually the only cream bronzer that I have used this year, but I love it, and I seriously can't think of anything that I would love more, just because it's such a perfect texture, and compared to other cream products that I've tried, it's just so different. And this is the Sonia Kashuk Rich Bronze Undetectable Cream Bronzer. The texture of this is really, really creamy. I mean, it feels just super, super soft and just glides onto the skin. But when you start to buff it in, it almost becomes more of like a powdery finish. So it becomes really, really easy to buff and blend. So I just did a little swatch of it there amongst all the blush swatches. It's just so nice. And I've heard a lot of people compare this to the Chanel Bronze Universal Cream stuff. And like I said, I haven't personally tried any type of a high-end cream bronzer, so I haven't tried that one. But if you're looking for a good, affordable cream bronzer, I would definitely recommend this to you guys. It's just so nice for contouring and just giving yourself an all-over warmth, especially if you put it under foundation. It's really pretty because it just naturally warms up your skin, and it just works really well, so I'd highly recommend this to you guys. And then for my favorite drugstore bronzer this year, this should come as no surprise. This is the Revlon Photo Ready Bronzed and Chic Bronzer. I basically use this at least 5 or 6 times a week. I love the packaging. It's just so simple. They could probably, you know, get rid of this entire portion here and just make it a little small compact, but it's just really easy to travel with, and I find that having the quadrant of colors here really creates the most natural looking bronze. You can stick with these top colors and just buff it all over your face. You can go into these bottom colors and really get a rich kind of bronze look. It's just super smooth, super pigmented, and such a beautiful bronze color. And then for my favorite high-end bronzer, it has to be the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. That is right there. I have it in the Too Faced Sweet Dreams palette. They tend to put this bronzer in a lot of their palettes, so I'm sure if you have a Too Faced palette like this, you probably have tried this product, and it is wonderful. It smells like chocolate, first off, which is awesome, and it just creates a beautiful, beautiful bronze. And I especially like that one for contouring because it's slightly taupey. It's not super orange. It's not really a terracotta color at all. It really is just a nice, almost cool tone bronzer, so it works really, really well just right in your cheekbones for a nice contour. Okay, now time to move on to highlighter. For a cream highlighter brightening product this year, I have really enjoyed the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. This is the Dark Circle treatment in the shade Brightener, or the Brightener shade, just the pinky one. This is awesome to pop right in the inner corners of your eyes. If you pop it just right along your nose and then on your cheekbones, it just looks gorgeous. And you can also just run this all along your eyes to give you a really, really bright, very wide-eyed effect. It's just such a nice product. It just has such a creamy, nice texture to it. It's very easy to blend, and it's cheap, so I have really been liking this as sort of more of a brightener, something that you can put under foundation just to add a little bit of luminosity to your skin, and of course you can use it over if you really want a strong brightening effect. And then for more of the powder highlighter, just something that I like to dust along my cheekbones, you guys probably know this, the Aussie Perk Me Up from Everyday Minerals. This is such an amazing highlighting product. I will do a little swatch for you guys. It, I think technically is a concealer, but there is no way, I mean, I've said this before, you could ever use this as a concealer just because it has such a sheen to it, and really that's what I love most about this product, is that it's not a shimmer, it's just a beautiful, beautiful sheen. So I did a little swatch of it right there, and oh my gosh, when it catches the light, it is just absolutely stunning. It's got such a nice, pale, kind of icy color to it. It just looks stunning on the cheekbones. I mean, I can't even begin to describe how much I like this product. And then, you know, you can definitely blend it in more and just get a very natural, you can kind of see where it hits the light there, a very natural highlighted effect, which is what I like most about this, because I don't like highlighters that are shimmery. I don't like highlighters that have a lot of glitter, and highlighters that make me look like a disco ball. I just like a soft, glowy, dewy effect when I use a highlighter, and there's just been nothing that has compared to this. And I've tried different different ones from Smashbox and Lorac, and tons of different high-end highlighters this year, but this one still sticks out to me. And then very quickly, I have to mention these last two products here, the Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray and the Vitamin Infused Complexion Prep Spray. I always use this underneath my makeup. It just tightens your pores, reduces redness, minimizes oil, and looks lovely. And then the Chill Makeup Setting Spray, an amazing product to make sure your makeup will stay on all day, and I just love this stuff. So that is it. These are all the products I have loved throughout the entire year. I know this video is long, but we're talking about a year's worth of makeup here. I hope you guys found some cool recommendations and can try some of these products out for yourself. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this and found this helpful. And hopefully 2013 was a good year for you. I will see you guys in my next video, which will probably be my favorite eye products. Hopefully it's not so long. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.